Myanmar's ousted state councillor Aung San Suu Kyi is said to have been allowed to serve her remaining jail term under house arrest. News of the move has been widely reported on social media as well as by international news agencies. Ms. Suu Kyi was handed a more than 30-year jail sentence after a series of trials against her wrapped up late last year. CNA sources say the army's move to place her under house arrest is linked to a Buddhist ceremony set to happen on the 1st of August. Well, let's get more now. Our Myanmar correspondent Leong Wai Kit joins us. Wai Kit, still many questions. How likely is the army to allow Ms. Suu Kyi to be placed under house arrest? And what was the thinking behind that move, and how might it impact the Myanmar crisis going forward?
Well, Jill, I must first of all point out that whatever we're discussing now is based on what sources tell me, what sources tell other journalists. But when we compare notes, it appears that our respective sources are all telling us the same thing, that the Myanmar army has already transferred Ms. Suu Kyi from jail in Naypyidaw to a house and placed under house arrest. One of them even went as far as to tell me that this would be officially announced only on August 1st. Now, that's a significant day because it is the start of the Buddhist Lent in Myanmar, and also the Myanmar army has chosen that day to unveil its official and also what it calls the world's largest Buddha statue in the country. But like I said, we still cannot get verification of this development because the Myanmar army has not said anything about this development as yet. What I can tell you is that this comes amid two very timely developments. One, for the first time since Aung San Suu Kyi was arrested in 2021, the army had allowed her to meet someone other than her own lawyers, and that person is Thai Foreign Minister Don Pramudwinai, who had flown to Myanmar to talk to her in person. Now, those talks are very secretive. We have got no idea what was exchanged during that talk. The other significant event is the August 1st event, and that's also because it's not uncommon for the Myanmar authorities to release prisoners or give amnesties to prisoners on important occasions such as sacred holidays. Now, if all this were true, then the thinking behind the Myanmar army would be that it wants the world to see it the way it sees itself, that it is the custodian of the country, it is the protector of Buddhism in Myanmar, and that it is capable of clemency and giving compassion. Again, we don't know any of this, whether or not it's true, but if what our sources is telling us is true, then there'll be two immediate schools of thought. One, that the army perhaps is genuinely interested in some form of reconciliation process, and that the first step to do would be to transfer Ms. Suu Kyi from jail to house arrest. There would also be the second school of thought where whatever the army does, it's just for a superficial move and to perhaps to tell the international community to stop pressuring them and to stop giving sanctions on the Myanmar army. Like I said, all this would possibly come to light on August 1st.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. But what we know for sure is that Myanmar's state of emergency is set to expire, and that's happening at the end of the month. Then what?
Right. Now, many observers would tell you that they're predicting and analyzing logically that the state of emergency would be extended because it has never been lifted since February 1st on 2021. It has been extended several times. Many will tell you that Min Aung Hlaing is very keen to hold on to power. So the observers would tell you that likely this would be extended. But I'm also hearing from sources that say, hey, wait a minute, don't be too sure to make that prediction, because what I'm hearing from my sources is that there seems to be some renewed energy, renewed will to push Myanmar towards that path of reconciliation. So we don't know what form or what shape that would take, but I can tell you that the key pieces for reconciliation would include the Myanmar army, Aung San Suu Kyi, and the National Unity Government. But the NUG will never want to sit on the same negotiating table with the Myanmar army because they see the army as responsible for the ongoing violence in Myanmar. Likewise, the Myanmar army will not want to sit together with the NUG because it has branded the NUG as terrorists. For Aung San Suu Kyi, she will never get a seat at the table as long as she's not released. So there you have on the table three key pieces on the equation for reconciliation. How these three pieces are being moved around, added or subtracted would perhaps give you the formula for reconciliation. But like I said, we cannot verify all this yet. We possibly will see developments in the coming days when the state of emergency ends end of July.
Well, we still appreciate the information you're bringing to us right this moment. That was Leong Wai Kit speaking to us. He is, of course, a Myanmar correspondent.